Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're Maddie and Nico.
And in today's video, we're upgrading our plumbing system with a undermounted gray water tank from Curious Campervans. Ta-da!
This is a 17-gallon gray water tank. We're gonna mount it under the van, and we're gonna show you how to do it.
Currently, we use these Aquatainers. They're 7-gallon tanks, and we just fill these up with gray water, and then we empty them. We've got 2 of these tanks. One lives in the garage, one lives under the sink, but we decided we wanted to get an undermounted gray water tank to free up more space inside the van, and so that way we can drain our gray water with a push of a button. We do like to use our van in all 4 seasons, so we originally made sure our gray water was in the van like this, but we've decided that we aren't very concerned about our gray water tank freezing, and we'll just be sure to empty it frequently when the temperatures are supposed to drop below freezing.
So the first step in this whole job is going to be removing what we have under our sink. I am going to have to remove this hot water heater. I'm going to have to drill right about here in the floor. That's where I plan on running our water down through the floor. Alright, so now we're in. Just going to cut a hole in the base of the cabinet, and then we can get working on this thing. So before I start drilling into the van itself, I'm going to mount these up. These are the aluminum strapping that you can buy from Curious Campers. That will make mounting our gray water tank super easy. You mount one side to the bolts of the gas tank and then rib nut this other side, and then you can just kind of slide on your tank. But yeah, I'm just going to do that just to make sure I can mount the gray water tank where I think I want it, which is right about under here. Okay, here we are under the driver's side of the van, and we have the gas tank right here, this bracket right here, sorry it's dark, and then that's where the aluminum bracket hangs from. So here's my bracket that holds the gray water tank. This is the bolt that I just got out from the gas tank where I'm supposed to hang this. But as you can see, that bolt doesn't fit through. I don't know why, but it seems like a mistake on their part. So I put it in this vice grip. I widened it out with this drill, and I used a file to clean up the burrs. So now it fits right through. If you're buying one of these kits, just be aware of that. Maybe it's the year of my van. I have a 2020 Ford Transit, so I don't know if that has something to do with it, but it does seem like that bolt should be able to go through there in the first place. Don't know why, but this thread didn't work. So I'm just going to drill this hole that's already here out a little bit more, and then use a rib nut to mount my next strap. Okay, I've got my hole drilled out. Now I've got this rib nut tool, and I'm just basically going to create some threads to use within this hole. Now that I have my rib nut, I can put in my aluminum strapping. Okay, I have my gray water tank sort of, not quite mounted, but in where it's gonna go. That black line right here is where the water inlet on the top, that's the inlet I'm gonna use. I'm gonna have to cut a hole up there. Now I just need to go in the van and drill a hole down through the floor. Okay, here we are back in the van, and I'm gonna have to drill a hole to access the floor. I've got this big 3-inch hole saw. I'm just gonna cut out a hole where I can then drill down some more into the floor. Okay, there's my access hole. I'm gonna send a small drill bit down first just to see where it goes, and then adjust if needed. Okay, so there's the hole I just drilled. So we got the Curious Campervans gray water fittings kit, and this is everything it comes with. It's got this 5-foot vinyl tubing. This is what you use to get the gray water in. It has a 90-degree barb fitting for the fill, this 90-degree barb for the breather hose, a manual valve. We actually bought a motorized ball valve, so that's what we'll be using. It comes with a couple extension tubes, comes with a breather hose, some stainless steel hose clamps, Teflon tape, and a 1/2-inch plug. I also went down to Ace Hardware and got a couple more barb fittings to run our gray water line. So my next step here is cutting this hole open. There are a couple different fill holes you can use. There's one on this side of it right here, but I'm going to use the one in the top just because that's the way it lines up best for my van. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. This one is 1 1/4. This one is 1 1/2. After cutting my hole in the top, I then used the small barb fitting and wrapped it in Teflon tape. With this Teflon tape, you want to do about 4 to 5 wraps on the threads. That's how you'll get a good seal. The breather hose ended up being too long, so we cut it, and then I secured it down onto the barb with the hose clamps. Just remember, with every fitting that goes into the gray water tank, you're going to want to wrap it in the tape that was supplied in the kit. Again, this gives you the best seal. Now, I didn't record this, but I did add the plug and any other fitting that needed to go onto the gray water tank before it went into the van. So we got our tank. I'm just building it outside before we put it up into the van. I have this 90-degree barb fitting. I just cut a little piece of that pipe. Then I'm going to do another 90-degree barb, which will just go straight up into the van. When you're trying to put these barb fittings on, it helps if you heat them up and then grease your barb. Okay, I've got the tank suspended now. I've got the pipe going up. And now I just need to drill some holes for this and for that. Aww, just what I need. Aww. Cheers. Guys, I've been struggling all day and now I'm drinking tank and tonic, so.
Gin and tonics or a TNT?
We're good now. All right, guys, it is the next day. Got my coffee. Today, I just need to mount the other side of the tank. So I need to drill some holes, add some rib nuts in. Then I need to run a wire up through the hole that I cut. And then after that, I need to seal the hole. And what I'm using is this expandable foam. It's actually marine grade. It's a great stuff, multi-purpose black. I will link this down below. And then once I'm done with all of that, I pretty much just need to get inside the van and run the tube going down to our gray water tank up to our sink. Okay, so I just ran my wire for this. It's up here for now. I'll deal with that later. But now I'm just gonna drill some holes in here for some rib nuts so that I can strap these in. Same with down there. Okay, so that's my rib nut. Now I just need to put a bolt through here, into there. But before I do that, I'm gonna spray foam from the bottom. All right, on second thought, I can't really do that because I can't get this bottle up through my little access gap. But I'll just do it from the top and hopefully that works out. All right, now I'm just gonna put bolts in to suspend our tank, and this should be the last thing that I need to do on the outside of the van. I'll also be using a little bit of thread locker on these bolts. All right, got our water tank mounted. I will say the aluminum strapping that we got from Curious Campers works very well. Makes mounting it a bit more simple instead of having to finagle something out of threaded rod or whatever other people do. All right, I've got the gray water tank mounted now. Look at that. It's beautiful. And just for reference on where I put it, the back almost lines up with the back of the gas tank here. It's a bit closer to the rear wheel than I really wanted, I guess, but it doesn't really matter because we'll have access to this. And just so you can see, it just barely hangs down past the rail, maybe like a quarter of an inch, but I'm not worried about that at all. Okay, I just got my wires wired up, nice and watertight. They won't sit there, I'll probably send them more on top of the tank, but that's just where they are for now. Now that I've gotten everything under the van, I'm just working on the stuff in the van now. So I'm starting with wiring. We're going to use the same kind of switch we used for our water pump, like that. So when I turn it on, it'll light up. If it's off, it will be not lit. So it's a visual indicator of if our ball valve is open or closed. So I've already ran the wire behind the cabinet and into the garage. I just need to drill a hole into this wood, stick our switch in that hole, and then wire up this pigtail that it comes with. Luckily, I already have one wired right there, so I can tap into power from there and just kind of copy the wiring that that one has. Should be pretty easy. So one of the last things I need to do is make it so this pipe hooks up to the sink. I don't exactly want it just one long hose like this. I want it routed into this back corner and way out of the way. So what I'm gonna do is I got this waterless P-trap that's gonna go up on here. Something like that. I have a barbed fitting on the back of that. I'm gonna route a tube to that back corner, and then I have a 90-degree barb that will go straight down into that hole. So in order to cut this final tube, I'm using what we used for our wires for our batteries. Makes it easy. Now I'm going to attach this to my waterless P-trap. Okay, I've got my hep bow. I've got my barb fitting to another barbed 90 fitting. Now I just need to cut this hose right about there. Okay, so here is the final product. I have my HEPA filter up there, routed back to the corner, and then down through the floor. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about our gray water tank or our plumbing system, drop a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.